It is time for another episode of Survival with Fragger, and today, unfortunately, we are not in 1.20 like I was hoping we would be in because I am still waiting on a couple of mods to update. So unfortunately, we're still in 1.19.4, and that means we can't do any of the 1.20 exploration stuff today. So I am going to have to resort to my backup plan, which was building up this area of the base here. As you can see, it is very undeveloped, and I need to work on that so that it looks a lot nicer and more presentable. So that is the first thing I want to get done today, and I don't think that's going to take very long. So the second thing I want to get done today is I want to figure out our ender chest, because in the last episode we got a bunch of shulker shells that we can use for shulker boxes, of course, and I want to have a bunch of shulker boxes in our ender chest setup. I have two in here right now for valuables and iron. But I want to get a bunch more of those, and I need to figure out what categories I want for those shulker boxes in there. And so that will basically become our portable storage room. And so all of the important stuff that we use regularly will go in there, and then we can just carry one of those in our inventory at all times. And of course, we are going to start off this episode with building up this part of the base here. And I want to try and do things a little bit differently with this. Normally I would just go straight into a time lapse, but I actually kind of want to go over the design process for coming up with the overall design of this area with you guys on camera, because that's something that I don't normally do. So yeah, we are not going to go into a time lapse today. We are going to go into designing this up first, and then we'll go into the time lapse after that. Okay, so we are here in Adobe Fresco now, and we are able to draw things out and kind of start laying things out and designing things. And one of the first things I want to add to this is a little waterfall coming down here somewhere. So it'll probably end up just going down there. And then as far as getting up and down from this area, because there is a pretty steep cliff here, so I don't think doing a regular staircase is going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a staircase come in from behind this pillar here, and then it will come down a little bit right here, and then it'll end off probably about there. And then from there we'll have some of these jump pads here that will then allow us to go up from down here. And getting down, we can just jump off of here because we have feather falling in an elytra, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal to get down here. But getting up, I want to add these jump pads, and there'll probably be another one down here somewhere. And we will probably have to dig out this terrain here a little bit as well and kind of make it a little bit more flush with the wall here. And then for this area up here, there is going to kind of be this platform area here. And there'll be a fence going around this area right here. So that is kind of the plan for this area right here. And then we can look at some of the other screenshots to kind of get an idea for some of these other areas. Okay, so this is just another angle of the image we saw before. And then our waterfall will end up coming down probably about here-ish, and then go down there, and then we'll have a walkway going around there to kind of get to this side of things over here. And there'll of course be a fence line going along that walkway around there, and then we'll have our jump pads over here-ish. It is kind of getting blocked by this pillar here, but again, we'll get rid of that. And then this is where that fence line is going to go to facilitate this little platform here. And then down here, you can kind of see that pit that this waterfall is going to go into. And this is where there's going to be a little bit of a lake situation going on here. And that is what this waterfall is going to flow into. And I'm still kind of undecided as to whether or not I want to keep this waterfall. But then this area up here, as you can see, there is a bit of a fence line right there. And then this fence line will just kind of continue around here like that. But then I also kind of want to have this walkway come down here and go in front of this waterfall here, and then work its way down, and then go behind where the camera is right now, so that we can get from up here to this area down here as well, and we don't have to like go all the way around. But now that we've got this area all planned out, I think we can start on building this up and actually getting it looking nice. So why don't we get that taken care of with a nice little time lapse. Oh, this area is looking so much better. I am much more happy with how this looks. It is like way better. I'm very happy with how it's turned out. And I am hearing some skeletons over here. I don't feel like dealing with that right now though. So we of course have our jump pads here, which will allow us to get up top to this main part of the base. And I've got to say, I think this is starting to turn out to be my favorite part of the base. We've got this nice grand entrance right here that we can fly in and out of. And it also provides a decent amount of natural light into this area. And then over here, we have all of these different platforms at different levels, and it looks really nice. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. I know for a fact that this video is not doing this justice. This area is absolutely massive, and this actually took me a lot longer to do than I was expecting it to, because this area is deceptively large. So yeah, I guarantee you really cannot tell how big this area is just from watching the video. So it looks way better in person. But now it's mostly just a few small little details left that we need to add in, which is mostly just going to be like adding pathways to get everywhere like this. And then also adding in a bunch of foliage like grass and flowers and trees and stuff. I do really want to add a lot of trees to this area. That is the one thing I want to do to kind of set it apart from the rest of the base, is I want to have a bunch of trees around here, because we do have plenty of room for big trees, so we are going to take advantage of that. But other than that, it's pretty much going to be exactly the same decorating up that we do with the rest of the base. So you guys have already seen it before, and I am not going to bore you with it, so I'm just going to get it done really quick off camera and then show you guys the final results. I cannot stop looking at this area because it looks so good. I am incredibly happy with how it turned out. I think this area is by far my favorite part of the base now. Yeah, it looks so good. I mean, just from this angle, all of the different platforms we have here and the staircases going between them, and then all of the water in here, and this bridge that I added in as well, in addition to all of the trees and stuff we have in here. It is looking so good. I cannot stop looking at it. I could spend the rest of the time of this series in this part of the base, and I don't think I would get bored of it. But as you can see, we did add in all of the foliage and the trees and everything, and I think it is looking absolutely amazing with all of these trees here. The trees really just help set the vibe, and I am very happy with how it turned out. I did also add a bunch of these azalea leaves, which are supposed to be vines, running up this wall where our jump boosters are. And yeah, overall, I am very happy with how this area has turned out. And I know I've said that a bunch of times, but that is because it is true. Now, as you may be able to see right here, there was a little bit of a floating island right there before, if you remember that, and it is no longer there. I decided to get rid of it because it wasn't really adding anything to this part of the base. It was just kind of in the way, and it blocked your view of this area. And so to open it up more, I decided to just take it out. Plus, there really wasn't a purpose to it. It kind of just existed. There was like a little bridge to get over to it from here, and there was nowhere else that it would... Oh, that guy's not having a good day. But anyway, there was really nowhere to go once you got on top of the island. You were just kind of there. So yeah, there really was not much of a point to it, so that's why I got rid of it. But now that this part of the base is done, we can move on to organizing our ender chest, like I said I was going to at the start of this episode. And the reason why I want to get this done today is because next episode we are going to be in 1.20, which means that we are going to start doing the exploration stuff in 1.20 next episode, and I really want to get my ender chest set up for that so that we can have a few empty shulker boxes in here for exploring stuff, and that way we don't have to worry about inventory space or anything like that. So as I said earlier, I do want to have a few empty shulker boxes in here for exploring purposes so that we don't have to worry about inventory space while we're out exploring. I think 4 should be enough for that. Then I also want to have an ender chest that has a bunch of dirt and grass for terraforming purposes. And there we go. We have our dirt and grass box ready. And I'm not going to be doing these in any particular order, but I do want to have some structure to it where this middle row is probably going to be for more like building stuff, and this top row is going to be more for items. And then maybe this bottom row is going to have like some technical stuff in it or whatever. I don't know if that is exactly how I'm going to end up structuring this, but that is the general idea that I have for it right now. And I do want to have a spruce box that is going to be exclusively spruce wood. And there is our spruce box. And I'm going to do another mangrove one because we do use quite a bit of mangrove wood. And there is our mangrove box. And then we'll have another just general purpose wood box, which is going to have a lot of our other wood types in here. And there is our general purpose wood box. And of course, I will have a redstone box here. And there is our redstone box. And now I want to have an entire box dedicated to scaffolding because scaffolding is quite useful. And that should be enough scaffolding. So there is our scaffolding box now. So the next one I want is going to be a food box, which is going to have all of this steak in it. And there is our food shulker box. I decided to go with lime green for this one. And for this next one, I want to do rockets so that we don't run out of those while we're exploring. And that should be good for now. I can always add some more later, but I think this is a good start for now when it comes to organizing this ender chest. Of course, if you guys have any recommendations on shulker box categories that I should put in here, make sure to leave those down in the comment section. But I think we've got all of the essentials in here now, and I can work on filling these up a little bit more so that, you know, we don't run out of stuff while we're out exploring. But that is going to be good for next episode, which, like I said, we are going to be exploring in the new 1.20 stuff. But that is going to be it for this episode. So if you did enjoy it, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps out the channel a lot. And of course, do not forget to check out all of my social media profiles linked down in the description. And don't forget to come back next time to go explore all of the 1.20 stuff with me. But unfortunately, that is going to be it for this episode. So I'll see you guys next time.